Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever made a decision that felt right in the moment but completely changed your life for the worse? Have you ever sent a message in anger, quit a job out of frustration, given up on a dream because of fear, or walked away from an opportunity because self-doubt convinced you that you weren't good enough? If your answer is yes, then listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you could change the direction of your life forever. Your future is not destroyed by one bad day. It is destroyed when temporary emotions become permanent decisions. The greatest tragedy isn't failure. The greatest tragedy is allowing fear, anger, insecurity, and frustration to become the architects of your destiny. Today, I want to challenge you to stop letting your emotions write the story of your future. What if I told you that the biggest obstacle standing between you and the life you've always dreamed of isn't your lack of money, your education, your background, or even the opportunities you've been given? What if the real battle is happening inside your own mind every single day? Think about that for a moment. How many incredible opportunities have you walked away from because fear whispered, "You're not ready"? How many relationships have been damaged because anger spoke louder than wisdom? How many dreams have been abandoned because doubt convinced you that failure was inevitable? The truth is, most people don't lose to circumstances. They lose to emotions they never learned to control. And if you don't master your emotions, they will quietly begin making decisions that shape your future without your permission. Every human being experiences fear, frustration, disappointment, stress, anxiety, excitement, and uncertainty. These emotions are part of being alive. They're not the enemy. The real danger begins when you allow temporary emotions to become permanent decision makers. Emotions are like weather. Some days are bright and full of sunshine, while others are filled with storms. But just as you wouldn't assume that one rainy day means the sun will never shine again, you should never assume that one emotional moment defines your future. Feelings change, circumstances change, your emotional state can change in minutes, but the decisions you make while overwhelmed by emotion can affect your life for years. Here's something powerful to understand. Your mind is constantly trying to protect you from discomfort. Whenever you step outside your comfort zone, your brain often sends emotional signals designed to make you retreat. It says, "This is risky. This is uncomfortable. Maybe you're not good enough." But growth is never lived inside comfort. Every successful entrepreneur, athlete, leader, artist, or innovator has faced moments when fear screamed louder than confidence. The difference is they didn't confuse fear with a stop sign. They recognized it as a signal that they were stepping into something meaningful. Imagine driving a car down a mountain road. Would you hand the steering wheel over to someone who changes direction every few seconds based on how they feel? Of course not. Yet that's exactly how many people live their lives. One day they're excited, so they work hard. The next day they're discouraged, so they stop. One compliment makes them confident. One criticism makes them question everything. Their direction changes with every emotional wave, and then they wonder why they never reach their destination. Success requires something stronger than feelings. It requires emotional leadership. Think about the moments you regret the most. Chances are they weren't made after calm reflection. They were made in anger, fear, panic, jealousy, or insecurity. Maybe you said something you couldn't take back. Maybe you walked away from an opportunity because self-doubt convinced you that someone else was better. Maybe you gave up just before your breakthrough because the journey became uncomfortable. Those moments weren't a reflection of your true potential. They were moments when emotion temporarily took control. The good news is that emotional control is a skill, and every skill can be developed through awareness, practice, and repetition. The strongest people in the world are not those who never experience emotional pain. They are the ones who refuse to become prisoners of it. They acknowledge fear without surrendering to it. They experience disappointment without allowing it to destroy their confidence. They feel stress without letting it steal their focus. Emotional mastery doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means remaining committed to your purpose, even when your emotions are trying to pull you in another direction. Every morning, you have a choice. You can wake up and let your emotions decide the quality of your day, or you can decide that your vision, your values, and your goals will lead the way. When you make that choice consistently, something extraordinary begins to happen. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You become calmer under pressure, stronger during challenges, and more confident in uncertain situations. The obstacles that once overwhelmed you become opportunities to prove your resilience. The fears that once controlled you begin to lose their power, because you finally understand one poor life-changing truth. Your emotions are meant to inform you, not control you. The moment you become the master of your emotions instead of their servant is the moment you begin taking complete control of your future. What separates the people who only dream about success and the people who actually achieve it is it talent? Is it luck? Is it intelligence? Not even close. The greatest difference is this. Successful people refuse to let temporary feelings decide permanent outcomes. They understand that motivation is powerful, but it is unreliable. Some mornings you'll wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to conquer the world. Other mornings you'll feel exhausted, uninspired, and tempted to stay exactly where you are. If your actions depend on how you feel, your results will always be inconsistent. But when your actions are driven by discipline instead of emotion, your life begins to move in a completely different direction. Most people are waiting for the perfect moment to begin. They tell themselves, I'll start when I feel more confident. I'll work harder when I'm more motivated. I'll chase my dream when life becomes easier. But that perfect moment never arrives. Life will always present challenges, distractions, and obstacles. The people who transform their lives aren't the ones who wait for ideal conditions. They're the ones who decide that their commitment is stronger than their excuses. They understand that action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. Think about the greatest athletes in the world. Do you believe they wake up every single day excited to train? Of course not. There are mornings when they're tired. There are days when their bodies ache. There are moments when they'd rather rest than push themselves. Yet they show up anyway. Why? Because they know that champions aren't built on the days they feel motivated. They're built on the days they don't. Every workout completed despite fatigue, every practice finished despite discomfort, and every extra effort made when quitting feels easier becomes another brick in the foundation of greatness. Your life follows exactly the same principle. Every time you choose to keep your promise to yourself, even when your emotions tell you to stop, you're strengthening something far more valuable than motivation. You're building self-trust, and self-trust is one of the most powerful forces in personal growth. When you consistently do what you said you would do, your competence no longer depends on compliments or external validation. It comes from knowing that you can rely on yourself regardless of how you feel. Here's a truth that many people never realize. Comfort is incredibly expensive. It may feel good in the moment, but over time, it quietly steals your dreams. Every time you choose comfort instead of discipline, you're making a small payment toward a future filled with regret. On the other hand, discipline may feel uncomfortable today, but it rewards you with freedom tomorrow. The discipline to wake up early creates opportunities. The discipline to learn new skills creates confidence. The discipline to stay consistent creates success. What feels difficult now often becomes the very reason your future becomes extraordinary. Imagine building a skyscraper. Would the builders stop every time they felt tired or discouraged? Would they abandon the project because progress seemed slow? Of course not. They understand that every brick matters. Even when the final building isn't visible yet, your goals work exactly the same way. Every productive habit, every focused hour, every difficult decision, and every small step forward is another brick laid toward the life you're creating. You may not see dramatic results today, but consistency has a remarkable way of turning ordinary efforts into extraordinary achievements over time. There will be days when your mind will try to convince you that one missed workout doesn't matter. One postponed project isn't a problem. One excuse won't hurt your future. But success is rarely lost in one dramatic moment. It's often lost through hundreds of small compromises that slowly become habits. In the same way, greatness isn't created by one massive breakthrough. It's created by thousands of disciplined choices made when nobody is watching. Those quiet moments, when you choose action over excuses and commitment over comfort, are shaping the person you're becoming. The most powerful shift you can make is to stop asking yourself, do I feel like doing this today? And start asking, what kind of person do I want to become? That single question changes everything. Feelings are temporary, but identity is lasting. When you begin acting like the person you want to become before you see the results, your habits change, your mindset changes, your confidence grows, and eventually, your entire life changes. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about honoring your future. Every disciplined action is a vote for the life you truly want, and every day you choose commitment over temporary feelings, you move one step closer to becoming the strongest, most capable version of yourself. What if one decision made in just 60 seconds could change the next 10 years of your life? It sounds unbelievable, but it happens every single day. A person quits a career in a moment of frustration. Someone ends a meaningful relationship during an argument fueled by anger. An entrepreneur abandons a promising business because fear convinces them they are failing. A student gives up on a lifelong dream after one disappointing result. None of these decisions are made because the future has already been written. They are made because temporary emotions are allowed to make permanent choices. And that is one of the most expensive mistakes a person could ever make. Life has a way of testing your patience. There will be moments when nothing seems to go your way. You'll work hard and still face rejection. You'll give your best effort and still experience setbacks. You'll invest your time, your energy, and your heart into something that doesn't immediately produce the results you hope for. In those moments, your emotions will become incredibly loud. Fear will tell you to play it safe. Anger will tell you to walk away. Doubt will whisper that you're wasting your time. Frustration will convince you that quitting is the smartest option. But here's the truth that can protect your future. The emotions are powerful advisors, but they should never become your decision makers. Think about how different your perspective becomes depending on your emotional state. On a good day, every challenge looks like an opportunity to grow. On a bad day, even the smallest obstacle feels impossible to overcome. The circumstances may be exactly the same, yet your emotions completely change the story you're telling yourself. That's why making major decisions while you're overwhelmed by anger, disappointment, fear, or sadness is so dangerous. You're not seeing reality clearly. You're seeing reality through the lens of a temporary emotional storm. Imagine standing in the middle of a thick fog. You can't see the road ahead. You can't see the destination. You can barely see the next few steps in front of you. Would you decide to completely change your direction based on what you can see in that moment? Of course not. You would wait for the fog to clear before making an important decision. Emotional moments work exactly the same way. When your mind is clouded by stress or frustration, your judgment becomes limited. Time creates clarity. Patience creates wisdom. Waiting before making a major decision can save you from years of regret. Some of the greatest opportunities in life arrive disguised as uncomfortable moments. The promotion comes after months of hard work that almost made you quit. The successful business grows after countless failures that tempted you to give up. Strong relationships are built by working through difficult conversations instead of walking away during emotional conflicts. If you quit every time life becomes uncomfortable, you'll never stay long enough to experience the breakthrough waiting on the other side. One of the strongest habits you can develop is learning to pause before you react. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves your obedience. Just because you feel angry doesn't mean you need to speak immediately. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean your dream is impossible. Just because you feel uncertain doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. Your emotions are simply signals. They are not commands. The moment you create space between what you feel and what you choose to do, you reclaim control over your life. Ask yourself this powerful question whenever you're tempted to make a life-changing decision during an emotional moment. Will I still feel this way 1 week from now, 1 month from now, 1 year from now? Most of the time, the answer is no. Feelings pass, situations change, new opportunities appear. What seems unbearable today may become one of the greatest lessons of your life tomorrow. Don't allow a temporary emotional storm to destroy a future filled with possibility. The people who achieve extraordinary success are not immune to disappointment, fear, or frustration. They simply understand that emotional pain is temporary, while the consequences of impulsive decisions can last for years. They choose patience over panic, wisdom over reaction, and purpose over impulse. They know that every time they resist the urge to let emotions take control, they strengthen their character, protect their vision, and move one step closer to becoming the person they were always capable of becoming. What if the very thing you're trying to escape is the one thing capable of transforming your life? What if your greatest setback is secretly preparing you for your greatest comeback? Most people spend their lives asking, why is this happening to me? But the people who achieve extraordinary success ask a different question. What is this trying to teach me? That single shift in perspective has the power to change everything. One of the strongest habits you can develop is learning to pause before you react. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves your obedience. Just because you feel angry doesn't mean you need to speak immediately. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean your dream is impossible. Just because you feel uncertain doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. Your emotions are simply signals. They are not commands. The moment you create space between what you feel and what you choose to do, you reclaim control over your life. Ask yourself this powerful question whenever you're tempted to make a life-changing decision during an emotional moment. Will I still feel this way 1 week from now, 1 month from now, 1 year from now? Most of the time, the answer is no. Feelings pass, situations change, new opportunities appear. What seems unbearable today may become one of the greatest lessons of your life tomorrow. Don't allow a temporary emotional storm to destroy a future filled with possibility. The people who achieve extraordinary success are not immune to disappointment, fear, or frustration. They simply understand that emotional pain is temporary, while the consequences of impulsive decisions can last for years. They choose patience over panic, wisdom over reaction, and purpose over impulse. They know that every time they resist the urge to let emotions take control, they strengthen their character, protect their vision, and move one step closer to becoming the person they are always capable of becoming. What if the very thing you're trying to escape is the one thing capable of transforming your life? What if your greatest setback is secretly preparing you for your greatest comeback? Most people spend their lives asking, why is this happening to me? But the people who achieve extraordinary success ask a different question. What is this trying to teach me? That single shift in perspective has the power to change everything. Pain is not always your enemy. Sometimes it is your greatest teacher, your toughest coach, and your strongest source of growth. The people who rise above average are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who learn how to turn it into power. Every successful person you admire has walked through seasons of disappointment. They have faced rejection when they desperately wanted acceptance. They have experienced failure after giving everything. They have doubted themselves, questioned their abilities, and wondered if their dreams were worth chasing. The difference is that they refused to let those painful moments define their identity. Instead of allowing hardship to break them, they allowed it to build them. They understood that every challenge carried a lesson that comfort could never teach. Think about how diamonds are created. They begin as ordinary carbon buried deep beneath the earth. They are exposed to unimaginable pressure and intense heat for years before they become something incredibly valuable. Remove the pressure, and the diamond never exists. Human potential works the same way. Pressure doesn't always destroy you. Often it reveals the strength that has been inside you all along. The difficult seasons you're facing today may be shaping the resilience, wisdom, and character that your future success will require. The truth is, life will never be free of obstacles. There will always be unexpected setbacks, closed doors, financial struggles, criticism, disappointments, and moments when nothing seems to go according to plan. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can always control the meaning you assign to those experiences. If you decide that every setback is proof that you should quit, you'll remain trapped by your circumstances. But if you decide that every setback is training for something greater, every obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, look back at the hardest moments of your life. At the time, they probably felt unbearable. You may have questioned your future, your abilities, or even your purpose. But those same moments likely taught you lessons that success alone never could. They taught you patience when things didn't happen on your timeline. They taught you resilience when giving up seemed easier than moving forward. They taught you humility, gratitude, and perseverance. The pain that once seemed meaningless eventually became part of the foundation of your strength. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that failure is the opposite of success. It isn't. Failure is often a necessary step toward success. Every mistake contains valuable information. Every rejection reveals an area for growth. Every obstacle develops skills that will serve you later in life. Imagine trying to build physical strength without resistance. It would be impossible. Muscles only grow when they're challenged beyond their comfort zone. Your character develops exactly the same way. Without challenges, there is no growth. Without resistance, there is no resilience. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as a student of every experience, your entire mindset begins to change. Instead of asking, why did this happen? You begin asking, how can I become stronger because of this? Instead of allowing disappointment to steal your confidence, you use it as fuel to improve. Instead of allowing criticism to discourage you, you let it sharpen your determination. Every painful experience becomes another piece of evidence that you are stronger than you once believed. Remember that the strongest trees are not the ones that grow in perfect weather. They are the ones that survive powerful storms, relentless winds, and changing seasons. Their roots grow deeper because they are constantly challenged. Your life follows the same principle. Every difficulty you overcome deepens your character. Every setback you refuse to surrender to strengthens your confidence. Every moment of pain you transform into purpose becomes another reason why your future will be greater than your past. The greatest breakthroughs are often born from the greatest battles, and the strength you're developing today may become the very reason you inspire others tomorrow. What if the biggest reason you're stuck isn't because your dreams are too big, but because your focus is too small? What if you're allowing today's emotions to steal tomorrow's opportunities? Think about it for a moment. How many people sacrifice an extraordinary future just to feel comfortable today? They choose instant gratification over lasting fulfillment. They allow temporary frustration to replace long-term vision. They become so consumed by how they feel in the present that they completely lose sight of the person they're capable of becoming. If you want a future that is different from your present, then your focus must become stronger than your present. Feelings. Every successful person has one thing in common. They understand that the future is created by today's consistent actions, not today's emotional reactions. There will be mornings when you don't feel motivated to wake up early. There will be evenings when you're too tired to study, exercise, build your business, or work on your goals. There will be days when nothing seems to go according to plan, when criticism hurts, rejection stings, and progress feels invisible. Those are the moments that separate people who merely wish for success from those who actually earn it. The winners don't ask themselves, how do I feel today? They ask, what does my future require from me today? Imagine planting a tree. You water it every day, protect it from harsh conditions, and patiently wait for it to grow. During the first few weeks, nothing extraordinary seems to happen. You don't see massive branches or abundant fruit, and growth is taking place beneath the surface where no one can see it. If you stop caring for the tree simply because visible results haven't appeared yet, you'll never experience the harvest. Success follows the same principle. Every disciplined action you take is strengthening roots beneath the surface. Even when progress feels slow, something valuable is happening. Your habits are changing. Your character is growing. Your confidence is quietly being built one decision at a time. One of the greatest enemies of success is emotional distraction. The world constantly tries to pull your attention away from what truly matters. Social media compares your journey to everyone else's. Negative opinions make you question your abilities. Temporary failures make you forget how far you've already come. Suddenly, you're no longer focused on your destination. You're focused on your doubts, your fears, and your frustrations. That's exactly how dreams begin to fade, not because they're impossible, but because your attention shifts away from them. Your mind will always find reasons to seek comfort. It will tell you that skipping one workout doesn't matter. It will convince you that putting off your goals until tomorrow is harmless. It will whisper that you've already done enough. But every small decision either moves you closer to your future or further away from it. The future you're hoping for isn't built in one extraordinary moment. It's built through hundreds of ordinary decisions made consistently over time. The small choices you make today become the life you live tomorrow. There will always be obstacles standing between you and your vision. Some will come from outside your control, while others will come from within your own mind. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary people is not that one group faces fewer problems. The difference is that extraordinary people refuse to let temporary emotions become permanent distractions. They understand that difficult days are temporary, but a meaningful purpose is lasting. They stay committed to the mission, even when excitement fades, because they know commitment is far more powerful than motivation. Picture an airplane flying toward its destination. During the journey, it encounters turbulence, strong winds, and changing weather conditions. The pilot doesn't abandon the flight because the ride becomes uncomfortable. Instead, small adjustments are made while keeping the destination in sight. That's exactly how you must approach your goals. Life will create turbulence. Plans will need to change. Unexpected challenges will appear. But as long as your eyes remain fixed on your future, instead of your temporary feelings, you'll continue moving forward. Progress doesn't require perfect conditions. It requires unwavering direction. Every day you choose your vision over your emotions. You're investing in a future that most people will never experience. Every time you remain consistent despite discouragement, every time you continue working despite slow results, and every time you refuse to allow temporary setbacks to define your journey, you strengthen the mindset of someone destined for extraordinary success. Your future is watching every decision you make. Today, and the life you dream about is built by those who remain faithful to their purpose long after the excitement of the beginning has disappeared. Right now, at this very moment, your future is being shaped not by what happened yesterday, not by what someone else thinks about you, and not by the circumstances surrounding your life, but by the decisions you choose to make today. Let that sink in. Every second you spend waiting for the perfect time is a second your future can never get back. Here's the question that could change your life forever. If nothing changes today, where will you be 1 year from now? Will you be stronger, more confident, and closer to your dreams? Or will you still be making the same excuses, fighting the same fears, and wishing you had started sooner? Your answer depends on one thing: whether you decide to take control of your life starting today. Too many people believe that life changes because of one lucky break or one extraordinary opportunity. The truth is much different. Extraordinary lives are built through ordinary decisions repeated consistently over time. Every choice matters. Every habit matters. Every conversation matters. Every hour you invest in improving yourself matters. Success doesn't suddenly appear one morning when you wake up. It quietly grows behind the scenes through countless moments. When you choose progress instead of procrastination, courage instead of fear, and action instead of excuses, one of the biggest lies people tell themselves is, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next month. Before they realize it, another year's passed, and their dreams remain exactly where they left them, waiting. The reality is that tomorrow is one of the most dangerous words in the world because it creates the illusion that you have unlimited time. None of us are promised another opportunity. The only moment you truly own is the one you're living right now. That's why successful people don't wait for perfect circumstances. They begin with what they have, where they are, and they improve as they move forward. Imagine standing at the bottom of a mountain. Looking at the peak can feel overwhelming. The distance seems impossible, and your mind immediately begins creating excuses about why you can't make the climb. But no one reaches the summit with one giant leap. Every person who has ever stood at the top started by taking a single step, then another, then another. They didn't focus on the entire mountain every moment. They focused on taking the next step with consistency. Your biggest goals work exactly the same way. You don't have to have every answer today. You only need the courage to take the next step. Taking control of your life also means taking responsibility for your choices. It's easy to blame circumstances, difficult people, bad luck, or past failures for where you are today. But blame has never built a better future. Responsibility does. The moment you accept that your choices have the power to shape your destiny, you stop seeing yourself as powerless. You begin to realize that while you cannot always control what happens around you, you can always control your response. That realization is where real confidence begins. There will always be reasons to delay your goals. You'll feel tired. You'll face rejection. You'll experience setbacks that test your patience and moments that make you question your abilities. But every challenge is asking you one important question. How committed are you? Anyone can stay focused when life is easy. Anyone can be positive when everything is going according to plan. True growth happens when you continue showing up even after disappointment, even after failure, and even after fear tries to convince you to stop. That's when character is built. That's when resilience becomes part of who you are. The life you've imagined will never be created by wishful thinking alone. It will be created by daily decisions that align with your vision. Every morning gives you another opportunity to become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more disciplined than you were yesterday. Every time you choose to learn instead of complain, to work instead of wait, to believe instead of doubt, and to move forward instead of standing still, you're rewriting the story of your future. Those small victories may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they become the foundation of an extraordinary life. The most successful people aren't those who never experience fear or uncertainty. They are the ones who refuse to let those emotions dictate their actions. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Every bold decision you make today becomes evidence that you're capable of more than you once believed. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your confidence. Every action you take, no matter how small, sends a powerful message to your mind that your future matters more than your excuses. The moment you stop waiting for life to change and start becoming the person capable of creating change is the moment your future begins to transform, one decision, one habit, and one courageous step at a time. Thank you. Believe in your potential. Stay disciplined through every storm. And remember, your emotions may influence your day, but they never have to decide your destiny. The future belongs to those who master themselves before they try to master the world. Now go out there, take control of your life, and create the extraordinary future you deserve.